Imagine this: a dimly lit hospital room, the steady beep of machines echoing like a heartbeat in distress. A young woman, pale and fragile, lies on the bed, her eyes wide with a storm of emotions. Beside her, a weathered man in his 40s, his hands trembling as he holds hers. "I'm a single dad, and I love you more than anyone," he whispers, his voice cracking like thunder in a quiet sky. She bursts into tears, the dam breaking after years of unspoken pain and unbreakable bond. If this hook has already gripped your heart, hit that like button right now and subscribe to our channel for more stories that dive deep into the soul. Stories that remind us why family is everything. Now, let's unravel the tale of David and his daughter Emily, a journey of love, loss, and redemption that will leave you inspired to cherish every moment. David Thompson was never meant to be a single father. In his early 20s, he was a dreamer, a budding architect with sketches of skyscrapers filling his notebooks. Living in the bustling city of Chicago, he met Sarah at a coffee shop one rainy afternoon. She was an artist, her canvases alive with colors that mirrored her vibrant spirit. They fell in love quickly, the kind of love that feels like destiny. Within a year, they were married, and soon after, Emily arrived, a tiny bundle with Sarah's bright blue eyes and David's stubborn chin. Life was perfect, or so it seemed. David worked long hours at a firm, designing homes for families while building his own. Sarah stayed home, painting and nurturing Emily, turning their small apartment into a haven of laughter and creativity. But perfection is fragile. When Emily was just 3, Sarah started feeling tired. At first, they thought it was the flu, then exhaustion from motherhood. Tests revealed the cruel truth: stage 4 breast cancer. The world shattered. David quit his job to care for her, but the treatments drained their savings. Sarah fought valiantly, her smile never fading even as her body weakened. "Promise me you'll take care of our girl," she whispered to David one night, her hand cold in his. He promised, tears streaming down his face. Sarah passed away on a crisp autumn morning, leaving David alone with a toddler who didn't understand why mommy wasn't coming back. The years that followed were a blur of grief and survival. David moved them to a quieter suburb, taking a job as a construction supervisor. Steady pay, but far from his architectural dreams. Emily grew up in a house filled with photos of Sarah, stories of her mother's adventures, and David's unwavering love. He became both parents, the one who braided her hairs, after watching countless YouTube tutorials, packed lunches with notes saying, "You're my sunshine," and attended every school play, even if it meant working overtime. Emily was his anchor, her giggles pulling him from the depths of sorrow. But single parenthood wasn't easy. Money was tight, bills piled up like unopened wounds. Neighbors whispered about the poor widower, and David felt the weight of judgment. He dated sporadically, but no one could fill Sarah's void, and he worried about confusing Emily. As Emily entered her teens, the challenges deepened. She was a bright student excelling in art like her mother, but puberty brought rebellion. At 13, she started questioning everything. "Why don't we have a normal family?" she'd snap during arguments. David tried to explain, but words failed him. One night, after a heated fight about curfew, Emily stormed out, slamming the door. David sat alone, staring at Sarah's. "Without you," he murmured. Hours later, Emily returned, tears streaked, and they hugged in silence. It was in these moments that their bond strengthened, forged in the fire of shared loss. High school brought new trials. Emily fell in with a crowd that valued popularity over substance. She dated a boy named Jake, charming but reckless. David sensed trouble but didn't want to push her away. "Just be careful, kiddo," he'd say, masking his worry with a smile. Jake introduced her to parties, alcohol, and the thrill of breaking rules. Emily's grades slipped, her art forgotten in a haze of teenage angst. David confronted her one evening, finding a bottle hidden in her room. "This isn't you, Em," he said, his voice firm yet breaking. She lashed out, "You don't know me. You're always working." "Mom would understand." The words cut deep, reopening old scars. That night, David cried alone, questioning his every decision. But love perseveres. David enrolled them in family counseling, a step he once thought weak but now saw as strength. Sessions were raw. Emily admitted her fear of losing him like she lost Sarah, and David shared his guilt for not being enough. Slowly, walls crumbled. Emily dumped Jake, refocused on school, and picked up her paints again. David supported her, attending art shows and praising her talent. By senior year, she was valedictorian, her speech dedicated to her parents. My dad taught me that love isn't perfect, but it's everything. David beamed from the audience, tears in his eyes. College loomed a new chapter. Emily got accepted to an art school in New York, a dream come true. David helped her pack, hiding his dread of an empty house. "You'll visit, right?" He joked. Every holiday, she promised. The first semester was exciting, calls filled with stories of classes, friends, and city life. But then the accident happened. It was a rainy night in November. Emily was crossing the street when a distracted driver ran a red light. The impact sent her flying, breaking bones and causing internal injuries. David got the call at 2 a.m., his world tilting again. He drove through the storm, arriving at the hospital disheveled and desperate. The doctors were grim. Multiple fractures, a punctured lung, possible brain trauma. Emily underwent surgery, emerging stable but comatose. David sat by her bed for days, holding her hand, talking endlessly. "Remember when you were 5 and we built that fort in the living room? You said it was our castle against the world." Nurses came and went, offering sympathy. Friends visited, but David barely noticed. His boss gave him leave, but finances loomed. Medical bills mounting like a tidal wave. He sold his car, took a second mortgage, anything to keep her care top-notch. Weeks turned into a month. Emily stirred occasionally, mumbling incoherently. David read her favorite books, played her music, anything to pull her back. One evening, as sunset painted the room orange, he poured out his heart. "I'm a single dad, Em, and I've made mistakes. But I love you more than anyone. You're my whole world." Her eyes fluttered open, focusing on him. Tears welled up, spilling over. She burst into sobs, weak but alive. "Dad, I love you too. I'm sorry for everything." They held each other, the room filled with cathartic release. Recovery was slow. Physical therapy tested Emily's limits, pain a constant companion. David was there every step, encouraging, joking to lighten the mood. "If you can beat cancer's shadow, you can beat this," he'd say, referencing Sarah's fight. Emily opened up about her fears. The accident made her confront mortality. "I thought I'd lose you," she confessed. "No chance," David replied. Challenges persisted: insurance denials, therapy setbacks, Emily's depression. But they faced them together. David joined a support group for single parents, finding solace in shared stories. Emily channeled her pain into art, creating pieces about resilience that gained local attention. As months passed, Emily walked again, her spirit unbroken. They returned home, the house alive with purpose. David pursued his architecture passion part-time, designing accessible homes inspired by Emily's ordeal. She graduated college remotely, her thesis on healing through creativity. Their bond, once strained, was now unbreakable, a testament to love's endurance. Years later, at Emily's wedding, David walked her down the aisle, his heart full. In his toast, "Life throws curveballs, but family catches them. Love more fiercely, forgive quickly, and never take a day for granted." Emily, glowing, raised her glass, "To Dad, my hero." And so, dear viewers, this story of David and Emily reminds us that love conquers all. It's not about perfection, it's about showing up, through tears and triumphs. If this tale moved you, smash that like button, subscribe for more heartwarming narratives, and share with someone you love. Remember, in the hospital beds of life, love is the ultimate healer. But wait, that's just the beginning. Let's dive deeper into their lives, expanding on every moment to make this a full, immersive experience worthy of a 60-minute narration. Picture David as a young man, fresh out of college, his portfolio bursting with innovative designs. He landed his first job at a prestigious firm, where late nights turned into breakthroughs. Sarah was his muse. Her abstract paintings inspired his structures, blending form and emotion. Their wedding was simple, a park ceremony with friends. Emily conceived on their honeymoon in the mountains. When Sarah got sick, the details were harrowing. Chemotherapy sessions where she vomited endlessly, David holding her hair back. Emily, too young to comprehend, drew pictures of Mummy strong like a superhero. Sarah's final days were in hospice, David reading poetry to her, Emily curled up beside. The funeral was a blur, rain-soaked graveside, Emily clutching a teddy bear Sarah made. Post-loss, David's days were routine: wake at 5 a.m., make breakfast, drop Emily at daycare, work till 6 p.m., pick her up, dinner, bedtime stories. Weekends were parks and museums, teaching her about art. But nights were lonely. He'd stare at the ceiling, replaying memories. Financially, they skimped. Generic brands, no vacations. David fixed things himself, learning plumbing from online videos. Emily's childhood milestones: first day of school, where she cried until David promised ice cream. Learning to ride a bike, falling and scraping knees, David kissing them better. Birthdays with homemade cakes, singing off-key. At 10, she asked about boys, David fumbled, saying, "Wet till you're 30. Lauder masked the void. Teen years detailed Emily's first crush, a school dance where David chaperoned, feeling out of place. The Jake era, sneaking out, coming home smelling of smoke. The confrontation, David finding condoms, his heart sinking. Counseling sessions, therapist probing, "How do you feel about replacing Sarah?" David admitting fear. Emily revealing abandonment issues. College, Emily's dorm room, posters of famous artists, calls home. "Dad, I tried sushi, gross." The accident, witness accounts of the screeching tires, Emily's body crumpling. David's drive, speeding through rain, praying nonstop. Hospital vigil, sleeping in chairs, eating vending machine food. Talking to coma Emily about Sarah, "Your mom would be proud." Awakening scene extended. Emily's first words, "Water, Dad." Tears, hugs, nurses applauding. Therapy, grueling exercises, Emily cursing. David motivating with stories of Sarah's strength. Setbacks, infection delaying progress, Emily's breakdown. "Why me?" David, "Because you're strong enough to overcome." Homecoming, redecorating her room with art supplies. David's side hustle, freelance designs, first client a hospital wing. Emily's art show, pieces depicting hospital life. Selling out, wedding to a kind artist named Alex, met in therapy group. Grandkids later, David babysitting, cycle of love continuing.